Heart attack. At the bus stop, the old man was dying. A medical student was trying to help in panic, his hands shaking. The elderly woman approached him. "Not like that, son," she said calmly. The student was stunned. Who was this woman to be so confident? Welcome to Tales of Valor. Before we continue this powerful story, tell us in the comments what city you're watching from today, and if you believe stories like this need to be heard, hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Margaret Maggie O'Brien was 72 years old and took the same bus stop to downtown every morning. She was a small, slender woman with neatly arranged gray hair, quiet and unassuming. Her neighbors knew her only as a retired teacher. No one had ever wondered about her past. That Thursday morning was cold, and the stop was busier than usual. Among the people waiting to get to work, Maggie stood quietly with her small purse, waiting patiently. Suddenly, the elderly man next to her, Robert Chen, a 68-year-old accountant, clutched his chest and collapsed to the ground. "Help!" screamed a woman. "Someone call 911!" People gathered around, but no one knew what to do. Fear and panic filled the air. Just then, a young man pushed through the crowd. David Park, 24, was a final-year medical student. "I'm a medical student," he announced loudly. "I can help." David knelt beside the man, but his hands were trembling. He knew everything in theory, but facing a real emergency was completely different. He tried to find a pulse, but couldn't locate the right spot due to his panic. "No pulse," he shouted. "I need to do CPR, but—" At that moment, Maggie quietly approached. "Let me help, son," she said in a calm voice. David looked at her. "I'm sorry, but I'm a medical student. I can handle this." "I know," Maggie knelt beside the man, "but your hands are shaking." "Mine aren't." "What would you know about this?" David protested. Instead of answering, Maggie immediately found the pulse point on Robert's neck. She positioned her fingers at the correct angle, counted the timing. Then she checked his chest cavity, assessed whether he was trying to breathe. "Pulse is present but weak. Breathing but irregular. Likely myocardial infarction," Maggie said, speaking in medical terms. David watched in amazement. How was this woman so professional? Maggie pulled a small box from her purse. Inside was aspirin. She placed one in Robert's mouth. "Chew and swallow," she said calmly. Then she turned to David. "Get ready for chest compressions. You'll start when I tell you. 30 compressions, then 2 breaths. Don't break the rhythm. But you—" Now, Maggie's voice was commanding. David automatically took position. Maggie guided him. "Hands here. Press deeper. Tilt his head back. Come on, start." It was perfect teamwork. Maggie monitored the pulse while David performed compressions. Every command from Maggie was clear, precise, experienced. 5 minutes later, Robert opened his eyes and began breathing. "Good job, son," Maggie touched David's shoulder. When the ambulance arrived, the paramedics checked the situation. "Who performed the initial response?" they asked. David pointed to Maggie. "This woman. I just helped." The paramedic looked at Maggie. "Are you a doctor?" "No," Maggie smiled. "I'm a retired nurse." "From which hospital?" Maggie hesitated. "A long time ago, in Vietnam." The paramedic froze. "In Vietnam? In a MASH unit?" "Yes, 95th Evacuation Hospital, from 1968 to 1971. David's mouth fell open. MASH unit meant working on the battlefield, operating under bomb sounds, dancing with death. You're a real war veteran," David whispered. Maggie gathered her purse. "I just did my job, son. You did well too. The shaking will pass with time. What matters is staying calm." After Robert was loaded into the ambulance, David stood beside Maggie. "Why didn't you ever mention it? How experienced you are." "Because it's not about boasting. It's about serving." Maggie boarded her bus. "That's the most important thing I learned in Vietnam. You'll be a good doctor. Just trust yourself." As the bus pulled away, David was still standing there. That day, he had learned the lesson of his life. Not just about medical school, but about life itself. Maggie looked out the window. She thought about 50 years ago in Vietnam, under bombs, in tent hospitals, the work they did. How many lives had they saved? How many young soldiers had they been able to send home? Now she had saved another life and given confidence to a young doctor. The next day, when David went to medical school, he told his friends about that day. "I worked with a real war veteran," he said. "She taught me things I never learned in any class." Maggie continued to come to the same bus stop every morning. No one saw her as just an ordinary retiree anymore. They knew she was a quiet hero, because that's how real heroes live, quietly, humbly, but always ready. And when needed, even after years have passed, the hands still know what to do. If this story moved you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, and write respect in the comments. Because at Tales of Valor, we believe the most powerful stories don't shout, they wait quietly.